Hi, welcome to my channel Takniki Gyan Guru. Today we will discuss AIML. Inside the AIML, we will discuss ChatGPT also. So in this section, we will talk about AIML framework. So how AIML works, right? Then the later we will discuss ChatGPT and its key components, and then we will discuss about a solution similar to ChatGPT that is in cloud, right? And then we'll go for small ChatGPT demo. So let's move to the next slide. So this is the AIML high level architecture. What is the AIML architecture, right? So we will discuss AIML high level architecture. So how the AIML will works, right? So let's understand first of all how the AML works, right? So AML basically, pre-trained model, right? We have some algorithm, and the backend we should have lots of data, huge data. Based on the huge data will trained based on some algorithm and create a model, right? And that model will be trained and we trained to predict or decide what to answer. That model will be deployed so that it can be accessed by the end user, and the end user will do query based on his experience or the pattern or algorithm has in the system. It will respond based on the input, right? So how it is work, let's understand. Here in the left hand side, if you can see lots of data, right? And the data is, maybe it can be database, some APIs, data stream, other data sources like Excel or Access or other, maybe in the notepad, anywhere, any data should be there, right? It should be, the data should be in this form, right? So next step is the data collection. In the data collection is basically, it will collect the data from all these data sources, right? It may be that only database or API, or it may be multiple data source. It will collect all the data source. Process means the collection, it will collect all the data source. This is called process of gathering data. So once the data is collected, right, in the raw format, right, it will be raw format, like it should be access Excel or database or anything, right? So it will be collected here, all the data is collected. Now it move to the next step, data processing. What will be done in the data processing? It'll get all these data, and then it will clean, transform and organize the raw data. So how it will click, so suppose it has some data where some data is missing, right? It is blank or something. So can we replace with some null value into the data, right? Or some data header is missing, can it be used, make some headers, so default headers. Or some data is missing, some data is not available, can we delete some of the unused data or that is not relevant to for the system? So that cleanness will be done. Or can we add some date time if not exist? So those cleanness, right? And clean, it will clean the data, then transform all these data in single format, and then organize. Organize means it will make the data in a single form that should be used as a model, right? So data is collected, then processed, right? Data is processed, and then it will go for the model building. What model will be done? Create a machine learning model using algorithm. So how it will do is, so suppose we have the data and we want to predict future forecast, right? So what we need is, we need some data of 10 years of past data, right? So the everyday data, what was the every second or every minute of data of the weather forecast based on each year, each day, right? It we it will check based on some algorithm. Maybe it will up and down or whatever, right? We will have some algorithm in the data, and based on the data we can create a model. That model will be created based on our algorithm or patterns, whatever we have defined inside the code, right? Once the model is built, then we'll go for the training. So how will train is done? Suppose 10 years data, right? So we will, train 8 years. 8 years data should be as a training, right? It will train the last 8 years, and then 2 years will be predict. So we'll say 2 years prediction is almost same, right? Then maybe in the future will also be predict similar pattern. So that is training section, right? It will be trained based on our past data and test data. When is test is done, maybe training data is 8 years, or 80% of the training data, 20% is the test data. Once it is done, then if everything is fine, then your data is trained, your model is trained actually. And then we have the next step is evaluation. It will evaluate is there any issues or performance issues or anything in the model, that will be evaluated, right? So, and then the integrate training model to real world means deployment, right? Deployment means these are some developers or engineers who is working together to build these models, right? In development environment somewhere that is not accessible by the end user. So the deployment is basically get this whole models or everything, whatever is required, and move this model to a place where the end user can access, or they can use this model to predict, right? So that is called deployment. So that is when you integrate the training model to the real world. So that will be deployment, right? It will deploy all our packages or codes, whatever it is, that will move to the place where the end user, or make the environment possible to, you know end user can send a query and then get the response based on this input, right? And the last one is monitor and maintenance. So once it is done, it is moved to the production or the place where the end user can access it. It will keep continuously monitoring the systems or model for the performance or some issues. If something goes wrong or something found fishy, it will notify the correspondent teams, right? Responsive team who can you know who has the access to rectify the issues or performance issues, right? So it will notify the team who is responsible to fix these kind of issues, right? So these are the process, right? Process how the model is, the data is being collected, processed, build the model, train the model, and evaluate if any performance issues there, and then deploy to the place where the end user can access, right? And inference is basically the end user can directly access. It is the process of using the trained model. That is basically end user is accessing the trained model, right? Similar to the chat gpt, right? Chat gpt is already deployed where we can access it. Okay. And other thing is, these processes like the data collection, data processing, model building, training will be done by the AI engineer. AI engineer is a team, right? It can have some data engineer, data architect, or some Python developers, or the architects, right? So a lot of application engineer will be involved to do these processes. There will be a team. So high level, I just say AI engineer will work all these steps. Evaluation, the quality engineer who will check the performance, who will test all these applications or the things, and he will approved whether if the performance is good enough to handle such request, you know and then it will move to the uh, deployment where the DevOps engineer, right? The DevOps engineer will deploy um, models from the development environment to the place where the the end user can access it, right? Development environment is basically the engineers will work and develop the model. So from that place to the place where the end user can access it. So DevOps engineers responsible is to deployment, right? In the deployment process, there are a lot of things: build, deploy, testing, security testing. A lot of things are involved. So I'm not going to mm, deeper into that. We will have a separate uh, videos in the past. My first video was in DevOps, so you can go and check. And the end user is basically accessing the model like the chat gpt, right? We'll show you. We will use the chat gpt to have our question and it will answer by the chat gpt. And the place where the chat gpt is hosted, right? And monitor and maintenance, this will be taken care by the infra engineer, right? And this whole system, right, if this whole system is in cloud, that may be in azure, aws and gcp, is this is not mandatory that is in cloud. It should can it's can also be in data center, right? And these cloud will be managed by the cloud engineer, all this infrastructure, right? So this is the high level architecture of the aiml. Now we'll understand what is ChatGPT. ChatGPT is a language model developed by the OpenAI. So OpenAI has developed this model. As we discussed, right, model. The large model is the big model, right? The vast model where in the back end is huge data, right? So the people cannot manage, right? It is huge data, and that data is being trained by the ChatGPT and become a chat gpt model. So it has different chat gpt version. Like initially it has chat gpt 3.0, now 3.5. 3.5 is still free. 3.4 we have to pay something to use the chat gpt 4.0, right? So it is belongs to chat gpt, it belongs to gpt, means generative pre-trained transformer. So it is generative ai, right? It can generate the content family of model. The model is designed to generate human like text responses based on the input received, means it can generate the human like text, right? It is predefined model. So generate the text based on the input. So it is already pre-trained. So based on the algorithm, or based on the patterns he learned, right? Based on his patterns or past learned, he give the answer or give the response. So the GPT is intelligent enough now, based on his past, the um, past, right? He give a lot of patterns or something he learned itself, and then based on his intelligent, he is giving the answer. So ChatGPT has some key features, right? So let's understand those features. One is the conversational understanding, right? So conversational understanding is basically uh, it's understand the generate the human like response in a conversation tech context. Like when we are talking to ChatGPT, we can query something, it will answer, right? So the conversation can be done. So under the ChatGPT understand the conversations. So maybe conversation is contextual or coherent, right? Contextual, if we are talking about some topic, right? Political topic, right? So it will stick on the political, and he will give you answer based on the political side, right? So that is the conversational understanding. Next one is generative in nature. So it is generative in nature, like so it is generate uh, the content, right, based on the query. So it is not, suppose I'm querying something, questioning like who is prime minister of India, right? So it will not, there is no a system where the answer is putting there, the prime minister of India is Narendra Modi. It is, the answer is written somewhere, it is go and pick the answer and respond you back. It is not like that. What it does is, it has been pre-trained in the past, so based on the training, he will generate the content, it will pick up the data from somewhere else in different machine, different system, different data, and based on the data it will correlate all the data and then give you the answer or give you the response. So that is generative in nature. It will generate the content based on the input, pre-trained on diverse data. So ChatGPT is pre-trained, right? So pre-trained, how it pre-trained? It is huge data is being trained and then become a ChatGPT. So 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 it has the wide area of topic and the ability to generate response that reflect the diversity, like it is different diversity, like it can, you can discuss with ChatGPT in political, or if you want to discuss for some country, some culture, or some education, you know different topics, or different topics you can discuss, or you want to discuss for something, like you want to discuss some desert, right? That that is already trained on the desert side, or someone who is belongs to the software community, right? He can discuss the software, like I am DevOps guy, discuss DevOps related things, right? So suppose I'm saying, okay, I want to know about the Terraform, right? So the chat GPT is already being trained for Terraform. So based on this training, it will pick up the response and give you the response based on your query. Next is the large scale. So as you know, the ChatGPT is large scale. It has different version, right? Based on the data, it is increasing. Like initially it was ChatGPT 3.0, then ChatGPT 3.5. Now ChatGPT 4. So ChatGPT 4 is still, we need to subscribe and pay if you want to use it. So it is large scale, right? Vast number of parameters is being used. These parameters are depends on the version, right? Because mm, more parameter, the version is greater version, right? Next one is task agnostic. So task agnostic is basically, uh, ChatGPT is designed to be a task agnostic during the, it has been already pre-trained based on based on specific task, it should be fine-tuned, right? So it is not like that, like we need to create a program, and based on the program it will be, you know fine tune, or it will be changed according to the program. That is not like that. It is already pre-trained, and based on the specific task it will be fine tuned, it will be work accordingly. That is task agnostic. Now contextual understanding means chat gpt understand the context. For example, like suppose I'm saying I'm from India, right? Now on India, okay, he will say, okay, welcome to chat gpt or whatever. Now if I'm saying, okay, what is which is the biggest river in our country? So the, because ChatGPT understand he is belongs to India, then he's talking about India, then he will give you the the bigger river is Ganga, right? So that is context. Again, I'm saying the capital of India, so he will answer Delhi is the capital of India. That means he understand the context. Next, open-ended conversation. So that means uh, it can do the open-ended conversation in different like it has the chatbot, right? And the chatbot can discuss with you in different topics, as we said, right? He can discuss with the development environment, software, hardware, or some country, some deserts, right? Or we can discuss the politics in India, politics in US, any topics. Most of the topics is covered. um, I don't know the depth of the ChatGPT, but based on its version, it can give you the answer. Text completion and generation, right? So text completion generation is basically, as we discussed, right? It is ChatGPT is generative AI, so it can generate the text, right? Or it can complete the text. Suppose I want to complete some paragraph, right? It is still not completed, so I can ask, can you complete this paragraph or this sentence? So the ChatGPT has the capability to complete that task, right? Or suppose I want to write some application for leave, so that can be generate, right? Generate the application, or write a creative things, or I want to create a blog, or some white paper, so that can be also possible. Or we can create a slide, right, in 5 minutes or something. That also possibility to get the content, and then we can create a slide in few minutes. Summarize also, like suppose I have 10 10 page article, I want to summarize in 4 lines, or summarize in 1 page. That can be also, that is called text completion and generation. So that is nothing. Okay, there's sometime later, cloud AML tools. So we'll discuss a little bit about it. So we'll give you some demos or some discuss in detail in later videos. We'll discuss a little bit about here the the solution, right? Similar to Chat GPT, we also have the solution in different cloud like Google. In Google Cloud, we have the Vertex AI, where we can create, train, and deploy the models, right? That being used for AI related apps or customized LLM. So we can create, for example, suppose uh, I want to create a face of cat or cat, right? So we'll give you some pictures, and based on the picture, it will create a, a new image, right? For new image for the cat, whatever animals or whatever you want, it will create it. So that model is being built and trained, and then will create. For document AI, it is a process for extract, classify, and split the document. So here we can, suppose we want to extract data from PDF or Word document, right? So we can fetch the data from the document, or handwriting, right? Somebody has somebody has write into his notebook, and he want to convert into the text. So maybe it should not be 100% correct. Sometime it will be 100% correct, sometime not correct, because maybe the handwriting is not recognizable, right? Or something, some misprint or something is there. So that may be possible that 100% is not extract. So it may be, but it is very helpful to generate the text or extract the text from the handwriting. That comes under the document AI. Generative AI again, right? We can create a content by text, image, music. As I said, if we want to complete the text or summarize some text, right? So that can be also possible. AWS AI platform, again, in AWS AI services also there, like SageMaker. It is similar to Vertex AI. We can create, or build and train the models. Bedrock, again, a generative AI, where we can build the generative AI application here, just like a generative AI in Google. and computer vision, where we can analyze image, videos, and extract the text data. So from images we want to extract text, that is also possible. Or from document, they extract text from the document, or some image, that can also be possible. you know and the language AI, the chatbot speech recognition. The speech recognition is basically, we can have some, suppose we want to recognize this voice is somewhere else, right? So we will give you some speech, lot of speech or videos. We will get the audio and give the name of these persons, right? So based on this, the we can train the model. And if somebody is speaking, and then we can recognize, for some example, right? Some, suppose there are a lot of things are happening uh, in interviews, right? So somebody is giving some interviews, somebody is taking calls from the recruiters, right? So we can get the speech from end to end, right? If the speech is changed in between somewhere, it means there are some issues. So we can recognize the speech, and we can um, stop or minimize the fraud on the interviews section. It is one of the example I'm giving. Azure AI platform, this is the Azure cognitive services. It has set of cloud-based API that can be used, and used in some AI related app. If I'm creating some AI related app, like translations, or translating something, or extracting some document, some AI related app, so we can use this API, uh, you know API to create our AI related apps. Azure bot services, we can build our bot over here. And Azure OpenAI, it is basically using the model, right? OpenAI models like ChatGPT 4, ChatGPT 3.5, and all. So these are the some of the solution that are available in the cloud, either it is Google, AWS, and Azure. We'll have a deep discussion in the later videos, right? Now let's go for the demo. We are now in browser, so let's type openai.com and click on ChatGPT, because we want to use the ChatGPT here, and login. If you do not have any account, you need to sign up. If you have the account, you can log in. So if somebody is facing some challenge to sign up, just write. I will definitely come up with some videos on this. So I have an account, I will log in. I will log in with Google, Takniki Gyan Guru. Yeah. So we are now in ChatGPT. Now the ChatGPT is large language model, right? Large language model. So it is already pre-trained, as we discussed. It is pre-trained. Now we can ask any questions, like, right? Let's suppose, who is Prime Minister of India? Okay, he gave Prime Minister of India was Narendra Modi. Last known is 2022, right? January 2022 till it is built on 2022 January. So he has the knowledge till 2022 January, right? So now say, can you please give details of PM? I'm just saying PM, right? So now see, I haven't sent India or something. It has given Narendra Modi, right? So now it generate the text. Now if I say, can you please short in few lines? Okay, now you can see it has given in few lines. You write an application, 5 days leave application for my son to the school and cause of fever. Right now, say, see, the letter is writing. It is not predefined answer, right? It is just it is pretend based on his last he learned. He answered it. Now you say, can you please translate this sentence? I am from India. My name is Niki Gyan Guru, and my and I am from India. Now my name is Takniki Gyan Guru and I am from India. So it's translate to Hindi, right? So similarly, suppose I'm saying, which is the lar- largest river. Would give the a title of largest river. Think I am from India. Is largest river of my country. The Ganga river, also known as Ganga, right? Can you please uh, summarize what is no, can you please tell us about leader in details? Yeah, should give you the okay. Now copy this and you please summarize this in few lines. Leader process, clear vision and notes goal. See, in few lines it summarize whole paragraph, right? And the last, if suppose I'm from development background, right, I'm saying write a Jenkins pipeline code to deploy a .NET application. See, it should write a application Jenkins code. Correct. So this is just a demo. Let's move to the slides. So this will end of our video. If you like this video and you want more such videos, just write and we'll try to bring such videos in different topics, right? And also if you want some help, right, if you are stuck in some codes, some DevOps somewhere, if you have some queries or you want some help, just write or comment. We'll definitely respond back to you. Thank you so much for watching my video. We'll come back soon. Till then, bye.